Oh boy, Sony is going to be a really popular discussion, like a really popular topic this week. So, strap in, buckle up, whatever it is, just hang on because it's going to be a doozy. Now, I just want to make this statement. This is full speculation, but it's kind of apparent once you hear what I got to say. Sony's controlled by a bunch of suits who don't know what they're doing, or they're controlled by a bunch of suits, big suits, who basically see what's trending and they want to go ahead and capitalize on said trend. Let me clarify a little bit more. Because of the success of, let's say, Spider-Man No Way Home, there were reports and rumors talking about how Spider-Man 4 should be another multiversal film. Now, that was met with like poor reception. At least those rumors were met with poor reception, including myself. I disagreed with that kind of sentiment. I don't think the fourth Spider-Man movie should be a huge multiversal film. I think we've had plenty of that already. We've had enough of it. What's wrong with having a nice little personal solo adventure from the wall crawler himself? And now, due to the success of, let's say, Deadpool and Wolverine, which grossed out to be about $1.33 billion, there are reports suggesting that the people at Sony want to make Spider-Man 4 to be in the likes of Deadpool and Wolverine. They basically want a Spider-Man team-up movie. And I'm like, are we ever going to get a personable solo Spidey film here on in? If Sony just keeps on capitalizing on what's trending, it just goes to show that Sony is controlled by a bunch of big suits who are completely out of touch and don't know what they're doing. They only have like the main goal in mind. Like the whole goalpost keeps shifting because of what is trending, what is popular, what is making money. I get that they're a business, but my God, are they lacking creativity here? They're lacking complete originality. That's what they're doing. And the reason why I'm opening with this is because I just found another article here about, Sony wanting Spider-Man 4 to be a Deadpool and Wolverine like team up. And I'm not kidding. I have the whole article here and we're going to go ahead and discuss. So the rumor is Sony wants Spider-Man 4 to be a Deadpool and Wolverine like team up. Spider-Man 4 featuring Tom Holland has already been confirmed, but not much is known about its plot, with Marvel predictably keeping it under wraps. However, according to an industry scooper, Sony, which co-produced and distributed the previous Tom Holland-led projects, intends for it to be a team-up movie just like Deadpool and Wolverine. The scooper further speculated that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire could return in bigger roles than the ones they had in Spider-Man No Way Home. So Spider-Man 4 could be a Deadpool and Wolverine-like team-up with other Spider-Men. Industry scooper Alex Perez claimed during the Cosmic Circus December to Discord that both Marvel and Sony wanted to make Spider-Man 4 as a team-up movie in the same vein as Deadpool and Wolverine. Notably, Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.338 billion at the global box office and became the highest grossing R-rated movie in history. Reflecting too on the future of Sony's Spider-Man and associated movies, Perez claimed that the death of the Sony universe was an exaggeration, adding that Sony is not likely to let go of the Spider-Man IP in a million years. Perez brought up the various speculations about Spider-Man 4 that have been circulated recently, including the appearances of Doctor Doom, Mephisto, Ghost Rider, Null, Venom, and Daredevil. The scooper then claimed that both Marvel and Sony wanted to recreate the magic and team-up dynamic of Deadpool and Wolverine. Perez added that it was reasonable to assume that Tom Hardy's Venom would be the one to be paired with Holland's Spider-Man over any character such as Charlie Cox's Daredevil, and that Perez could potentially give way to Null's inclusion in that narrative as the final antagonist. Perez also spoke to the prospects of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire reprising their iterations of the titular superhero Spider-Man 4. The insider stated that trusted sources had spoken about plans to bring Garfield and Maguire back for a larger participation than the last movie. In addition, Perez admitted that the potential inclusion of Mephisto and Ghost Rider in Spider-Man 4 was something new to the scooper. The expectations, Perez claimed, were for the demonic entity to be part of the Avengers Doomsday storyline. However, Perez added that anyone familiar with One More Day arc from the comics would not be surprised by Mephisto's interest in Peter. So, nobody wants a One More Day adaptation. Now, if they do a One More Day adaptation, I would hope that it'd be better than the comic book counterpart. Only because One More Day sucks, and I don't want to go into that because if I did, it'd be a longer video, but One More Day totally sucks, and nobody wants that. Now, as it is, we got our version of One More Day by the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, where pretty much everything has been reset and Peter Parker has been forgotten, but people just know who Spider-Man is. And there you have it. That's all. As far as like a team-up movie, I don't think it's like necessary, not at least in the start of this new trilogy. I'm assuming that the next, Spider-Man 4 is going to be the start of a brand new trilogy. Spider-Man 4 should be a solo movie. It should be more of a personable film, like I said at the beginning of this movie. And that's pretty much it. Maybe in the sequel, Spider-Man 5 and 6, yeah, we can have some team-ups. We can have some appearances from like other characters like Daredevil. Spider-Man and Daredevil go well like, bread and butter, peanut butter and jelly. Those team-ups are great, and we've been wanting one for quite some time. I've been wanting one since I was a kid. And the closest that we got to that was in Spider-Man No Way Home when Matt Murdock made an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home by Charlie Cox. So, what is happening here? It's like Sony's a major flip-flop company. First, they wanted to make a multiversal film, but then they saw like Deadpool and Wolverine. They're like, no, we got to make our next Spider-Man movie more like this. And I think we'll make more money if we do a movie like this. And it's just blatantly obvious how Sony's just lacking creativity, lacking originality. But anyway, you let me know your thoughts. Should Spider-Man 4 be more of a Spider-Man team-up movie, or should it be more of a solo film? As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. Dislike the video if you did, and I'll see you all in the next comic panel.